This is a video I'm specifically making for my brother. We'd had a discussion recently about taking more control over your stock portfolio and kind of just learning a little bit about technical analysis. So this company is Halliburton, a company that I know my brother's familiar with. And we're just going to talk about, so this is on a 3-year, 1-week time scale. So every one of these, what are called candles, represents a week in time frame. Now a white candle is that means during that week that's how much the price went up, and a blue candle is the price went down. Typically the default colors are green for positive and red for down weeks or negative weeks. But anyway, so this is the Thinkorswim interface. I don't have everything on here I think that you can see, but it's very customizable. It's available through TD Ameritrade, as we discussed earlier today. Yeah, so we're just going to kind of use this as an example. Let me zoom back out here. So we're on a 3-year, 1-week time frame. And so we can talk about like price levels, right? So price levels is historically what have people found, the values that investors, buyers and sellers think are important, right? So up here in the past 3 years, this is kind of the high. You notice you have like what's called a double peak here. Now if you get a double peak and the market rejects that peak, you know you're probably in for a pretty good downtrend before you get a uptrend again. So this is what's called, like, every time it peaks and then bounces down, those points are called resistance points. And every time it bottoms and then bounces up, those levels are called support levels. So, just kind of quickly checking it out, that would be a support. Well, I didn't get it there. This would be kind of what you would call a support level. You see it kind of bounced up here. We're just kind of going along through the time frame there. See this bottom right here. This top, right? That's, resistance, support. Here, this would be a support level. And you see how right here, previous support kind of becomes what they call new resistance. See how like this was a support level, and here in the future, it's resistance. And this is the COVID dip. This is what this is right here. And we'll mark out this level. Now, as you can see, since the COVID dip, COVID crash, what do you want to call it, we have not recovered to previous levels. That's kind of okay. This is, Halliburton's energy stock. My brother would be well aware. He works in the energy industry. And it's just going to take time to recover. But you can see since this recovery, it's had this pretty, just, smooth move. Now, what you might expect, based on previous, is that it might hit a resistance level around, once you get to the 1750, 1770 level. I'm going to zoom in here on this time frame. So when you're marking out price levels, like you would mark out, highs and lows. So here was the low, also corresponds to the lowest it's been in 3 years. And so we're going to zoom in and look at this time frame. We're going to change our time frame. This, like I said, this was 3 years, one week. And we're going to go to like 180 day. We'll go to a year and a day. See how this plays out. But we'll focus in on this period of recovery, right? And we just look for what are significant price points. Looks like that's kind of a significant price. Seeing how it hovers around here and there. Kind of see like this 11, kind of likes to hold above this 1150 level here since, all the way back here. Like, there, let's zoom in a little more. All right. So remember these candles represent 1 day, right? And you just see how like this 1160, 1160 to 1170 level just kind of holds, right? Every day it kind of just holds, and then boom, it took an uptick, and then it just hit a resistance level right there, or the sellers decided to sell. Price comes down, finds support, You get this chop, bottomed out again, and now it's kind of on an upward trend. Now you might expect, right, this upward trend could continue upward up until about this level again before it turns down. I mean, it could go up, it could turn down before that. I don't know. This line right here, this yellow line, that's the 200-day moving average, and for buyers and sellers, that becomes a significant point. This pink line, that's what's called the volume weighted average, and I have mine set to the month scale. And this is the 50-day moving average. And so yeah, let's just look at price action. And sometimes I'll drill down, and I'll look at like this 20-day, 1-hour time frame, right? So this is looking at 20 days. Each one of these candles represents, or these sticks, as you will, they're called candles, represents an hour. And we just kind of look, you know, you can kind of even drill down further and see what are significant price points, right? You see, like right here, right? It found up, came up, hit this resistance, came down, it found support right here. Now in short term, these could be more significant price levels. See, you know, so you keep marking out all these lines, but see how right here you had resistance, right? It hit, it came down, it came up, it went down, came back down here to this line we had already previously marked out at this price level, kind of stayed above it. Investors felt that, you know, that was a good buy point. Came up, kind of held at this preview, right? Remember, it found resistance right here, and at this point, it broke above the 200. It broke above that resistance line. It broke above the 200-day moving average, and people tried to sell off, but kind of found support. Gapped up that day, gapped up again, right? But see, like these previous price levels, well, this is a price level. Actually, I think I just marked this one. But anyway, so what can we expect in the future? Well, that's a guess. You know, you might see if it might hit this resistance level and then come down again. It could find buyers might feel like buying based on any number of factors. This is just technical analysis, just looking at what the price has done, and this just showing you all this to show that it's kind of like a pattern, but it's basically what do buyers and sellers feel like doing at certain levels of price. Like right here, so 1, 2, 3 days, you know, people, you know, enough buyers came in and bought to keep, you know, it's like they felt this was a good value and kept the price from dropping even lower, and then eventually it found, you know, more buyers came in, right? Price goes up. It's kind of just supply and demand, basic principles there. But like I said, so that's kind of an example of technical analysis. That's just looking at price levels. There's other things like certain patterns. I don't know if there was any really to point out here. Sometimes like the patterns become like you got a little bit more evident sometimes when you step out in larger time. I'm not really seeing any. I mean, this would be like what would typically be called consolidation, right? The price hit a peak, it came down, it found support, and then it kind of just narrows down in like a triangle. All right, let's show that. Boom. You see, it kind of forms this triangle shape here, and then a lot of times if it breaks up, what you would expect is that it's going to maybe move this distance from here to here as far as price. So right here we're at 1169, 1170, 1640. That's what? That's a good about a $4.75 move. So, and what that move is going to be, it's going to be from this $13 level. So if it plays out according to, you know, patterns, right? So $13, you should expect it to hit close to this 1770 level, maybe before it finds a resistance point. I mean, like I said, there's no guarantees, but that's just kind of looking at patterns and what you might expect. Um, yeah, by no means am I an expert on this. I'm just trying to learn more as I go. And this was, like I said, this video was made specifically for my brother, just to kind of explain what we were talking about in our conversations. And I know this looks like a lot, but this is, like I said, this is a Thinkorswim application that you can download on your computer. You said you already had a TD Ameritrade account. And I know it looks like there's a lot, but it's once you kind of get the hang of it, it's really not hard to figure out how to use this thing.